Yo, check 1 2, check 1 2. Let's see what we got. Peace, peace, peace to the gods. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Be wise, what's good? Up all night, what's good? So yo, okay. So yeah, y'all can hear me? Peace, God, Science 7, what's good? So yeah, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Kick. So that's where you can find me. So if the stream go down on one site, just check me out on the other one. But yeah, we're gonna get into this Trump thing. I'm gonna talk about the whole Trump situation, talk about the politics. Just to go ahead and let y'all know, it definitely was a Psyop. Definitely was a Psyop. But so let me make sure everything is straight. Gang stalking simulation was good. So okay, yeah, boom. So yeah, y'all can hear me. So yeah, we should be good. So for everybody that's not living under a rock, y'all already know it's election season. So psyops are in full effect. Okay, psyops are in full effect. Anytime it's an election year, they always gonna pull out the stops to harvest that energy, to get you emotionally invested, and to make a lot of money off the dumbass motherfuckers that actually believe in Democrats and Republicans and that believe in the system. So I look at all of this shit from a detached, unemotional point of view. Like, I really don't give a fuck, but I know that a lot of people do give a fuck, so it does affect people in a certain way. So I'm gonna break down everything that's going on. So for everybody that hasn't seen it, I'm gonna just play the video and I'm gonna let y'all tell me if y'all think this is staged or not. If you think it's real, if you think it's staged, if you think it's all cap. You know, politics, I like to say, is political theater. You know, it's all a production. Now I will say that just because something is a psyop, just because something is staged, doesn't mean that it wasn't real. So people definitely got shot. People definitely got hurt during the situation, but that doesn't mean that there's not a bigger agenda at play. So I'm gonna just run the video just for the algorithm. And y'all let me know if y'all think this is real or if it's fake.
And the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Hawkeye's here. We ready?
Okay, we are watching live at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where former President Trump was speaking on the stage. There has been some kind of disturbance that clearly sets law enforcement and Secret Service into motion, immediately jumping around the former president in a protective mode. The crowd has been screaming. They are standing by. You can hear some voices there saying, "Are we ready to go? Are we ready to go?" We are looking at President Trump. This does not look good. I'm going to be honest with you. From what we can see right here, it looks like they are attempting to move him out, that he may have been injured.
Okay, so people on YouTube can hear me, but people on Instagram can't hear me. You can hear me now? Okay. Okay, so you can hear me now. Okay, cool. So yeah, that was the video. So yeah, it seemed like some weird audio shit happens when I play other media. But so that was the video. So if you think it's real, if you think it's fake, it really doesn't matter, because the whole point of this operation is to cause civil unrest. Because you got to understand that the so-called powers that be, they understand that they have people polarized. Because for the past 4 years with COVID, with all of the crazy shit that's been going on, a lot of people are in a very polarized consciousness. So you got the Democrats, you got the Republicans, you have all of these different factions that's trying to just get people to go to war with each other. So this is really like the first stage in a bigger plan, because mark my words, bro, there will be a retaliation with Biden and whoever the Democratic elect is going to be. So this isn't going to be the first one of these incidents that we end up seeing. This is really just a big plan to basically spark a civil war. Like, the whole goal with a lot of this shit is to just get people so amped up, so riled up, so emotionally invested that they can use that energy to make people do dumb shit. Because honestly, bro, the way I look at this shit, if you really believe that either one of these candidates or either one of these political parties can save you, then bro, you're pretty much cooked. You're pretty much cooked. So that's really the big agenda. Like, this is all a plot to just make people war with each other, because in order for this type of psyop to be effective, they have to radicalize you. So by radicalizing you, they get you in a highly emotional state. So now they can get you to crash out. So they want people to go to war with each other. So it doesn't matter if Biden wins or if they put another person in a Democratic seat. It don't matter if Trump wins. Whoever wins is going to lead to more violence. It's going to lead to more civil unrest, because that's really the ultimate goal. It's always order out of chaos. Just like a few years ago when they had the George Floyd shit. Remember, everybody was burning down shit. Everyone was going crazy. What did that solve? What did that actually, how did that benefit anybody? Because at the end of the day, everybody went out there, everybody was emotionally invested, but nobody actually really came together and did anything constructive out of that. So this is the same playbook over and over and over, bro. They keep you polarized. They keep you thinking that there's a difference between Democrats and Republicans, when at the end of the day, bro, all of these candidates, all of these politicians are paid, and they're all up under a bigger and a more powerful force. You know, people talk about the deep state and the shadow government, but then people would try to rally around Trump or rally around the Democrats and think that they're actually doing something. It's like, no, bro, you're playing into the same agenda. You're playing into the plan. So that's what you got to understand, bro. So like I say, if you smart, then you will find a way to monetize these situations, or you will find a way to benefit personally from these situations. But if you think that all of this shit is happening, and if you think that, you know, the election and whoever wins the election is going to save America, like, bro, even if Trump wins, the president doesn't have as much power as y'all think he has, bro. Like, the president has a script, the president has orders, and the president pretty much has shareholders. Like, you got to understand how politics operate. There's something called dark money in politics, right? You can look it up. Dark money in politics is basically where anybody can donate to a political campaign without disclosing who they are. So all of these candidates are funded, bro. And really, to keep it all the way real, politics is really nothing more than organized crime. Like, when we look at the crime that goes on in our communities, a lot of people will try to put blame on a certain group, but the politicians fund and facilitate the crime, bro. Like, that's why the goal of the police and the government is not to stop crime. That's never been the goal. The goal of the police and the government is to monetize crime and make money off that shit. So all these politicians, bro, like, I don't give a fuck who you are or what faction, what gang you represent politically. Bro, there's always a hidden hand that's funding both sides. This is how the Illuminati play, bro. They fund both sides of the war and watch the pawns kill each other, and they just keep making money. Anytime it's a war, just look at Ukraine, look at Israel, Palestine. Like, bro, they make money off of all of that shit. And since they got people killing each other, it's a blood sacrifice. They harness the energy and they use that energy to further other agendas. So what you got to understand, bro, is that all of this shit, exactly, they did the same in World War II, bro. It's exactly the same thing. So they have to get people more emotionally invested, because let's keep it real, bro. Like, especially with niggas, I mean, we don't really give a fuck about the election like that. Like, this is more so a psyop, more so for white people that actually believe that they can vote and get freedom based upon who they vote. Like, bro, that shit is dumb as fuck. Anytime somebody is giving you a choice or an option, that is not freedom. Now, I will say that just as a character, I fuck with Trump as a character. But nigga, me standing in line voting for this nigga, bro, you got me fucked up, bro. What the fuck I look like? But like I said, the masses of the people are dumb as fuck. They're highly emotional, and just a cold fact about life that a lot of people don't want to accept is that if you're dumb, if you're weak, or if you're easily emotionally manipulated, if you're highly emotional, you will get taken advantage of, bro. Like, just period. So, you know, you got to understand, just everything happens for a reason. And this is, you know, the first step in a bigger plan. You know, the ultimate goal is civil war. That's really their ultimate goal. I don't know if it'll manifest in, you know, I don't know how it'll manifest, but that's ultimately the end goal, is to get people so riled up and so caught up in this shit that, yeah, you crash out. You crash out. So, yeah, bro, like, that's my whole take on the Trump thing. I'm not going to say that, you know, there wasn't an actual bullet. Like, we can debate on if the bullets was real, if it was a BB gun, or all of that shit is really irrelevant. It's about what's the long-term plan behind this, and what is, and who's really behind this. That's really what people should really be caring about. But yeah, bro, as far as, like, you know, just politics in general, bro, Democrats and Republicans are two wings of the same bird. If you don't know that, I don't know what else to tell you. But like I said, if you're grifting off the situation, then more power to you, because the American people are so dumb. It's almost like I don't even get mad no more, bro, when I see a lot of this shit. I'm just detached from it, because I just feel like it's so much information out here that if you're still going for this shit, you pretty much deserve to get finessed at this point, you know. But like I said, it's all theater. I look at all of this shit as entertainment. Anything that's televised to me on the news, bro, I'll automatically look at it as, yeah, it's probably staged. Or if it's not 100% staged and 100% fake, there's a reason that they're showing this to me. It's a reason that this shit happened on the 13th. It's a reason that it happened in, you know, whatever location it happened in. I believe they was in Pennsylvania. It's a reason for all of that shit, bro. Like, I can break down the gematria and the numerology and the astrology. You know, that's a whole nother video. But just as far as like, just as far as like what's going on politically, bro, don't get too wrapped up in all of this shit. Because at the end of the day, if you really at a high level spiritually, you'll really be protected no matter what the fuck go down. Like, so even if it does, manifest into some type of civil war type of situation, this is why I talk about getting money. This is why I talk about meditation, because you will basically be like in your own little bubble to where no matter what's going on in the outside world, it won't really affect you too much personally, because you're not feeding your consciousness and you're not feeding your energy into it. So that's really like that's really the big reason. So you said, is it Democrats? Bro, Democrats and Republicans work together behind the scenes to finesse and take advantage of the ignorant Americans that believe in this shit. Like, bro, if you're not talking about no revolutionary shit, if you're not talking about being self-sustaining, if you're not talking about making your own moves and becoming sovereign, and you still believe in this system, you still believe in these people, bro, there's no hope for you, bro. There's no hope for you, bro. And it's like, you really just got to understand that. Why would these people give a fuck about you? Like, why would these politicians give a fuck about you? Why would Trump give a fuck about you? Now, I will say this about Trump. This is the only thing I fuck with about Trump. Trump does go off script sometimes. That's the thing about Trump. Because everyone has a script, but at the end of the day, you still have free will as a person. So Trump does go off script. And Trump did do certain things on a legislative level that did help people out. But they're not going to really talk about that in the media. But at the end of the day, the things that Trump can do, like all the shit that he's saying that he's going to do, bro, they're not going to let him do it. Because I believe that if he makes it to the election, he probably will win. But at the end of the day, let's not forget, bro, Trump pushed the vax on all y'all niggas. Trump signed that legislation to, get people vaccinated. So, by default, to me, Trump is automatically controlled opposition. Anybody that's a president is automatically controlled opposition by default. You can't become a president without being controlled opposition. So, and that's not to say that, certain people that operate in the political realm don't do certain things that can benefit people, but it's still it's basically like giving you crumbs, bro. Like, they promise you all of this shit, like every year, like, cause I'm 30 years old. I've been alive. I've seen a lot of different presidents come and go. George Bush, Barack Obama, none of these motherfuckers have ever been a savior to America. So I don't understand like why people think that, Trump is going to save America. Like, bro, there is no saving America. America has always been controlled by foreign powers outside of America. Once you understand the Federal Reserve, once you understand the World Bank, once you understand the United Nations, once you understand that America is an experiment. America was an experiment, for one thing, to get a lot of people to mix their DNA together, but it's also an experiment to try out different economic systems. Like all of these different continents, whether you got China with communism, whether you have, what you have in Africa with all of the destabilization, they use these different countries and continents as experiments to see what works, to see, different ways that they can control, different ways that they can use media, different ways that they can basically influence the mind. So all of this shit is an experiment, bro. So until you elevate yourself as a god, you will just be really just running around in a rat race, running around in a maze trying to make sense of this shit. He said he didn't push for the mandate. He pushed to get a vaccine out. And what did the vaccine do to millions of people? But you're saying two different things and it doesn't add up. Either he's controlled or he isn't. Bro, every president is controlled. It's just controlled by who? This is what y'all got to understand, bro, is that there isn't just one group that controls everything. It's different secret society families that's all warring against each other, and they use the masses as fucking pawns to further their agenda. So you have the government, right, which is low level. Then you have the Vatican. You got the Freemasons. You got the Rothschilds. You got all of these different families, right? All of these different families and all of these groups are not, in cahoots with each other all the time. They have infighting amongst the elites. And this is what you're really seeing play out. It's like you have one group which is basically like the accelerationists. Then you have the other group, which is more so of the old world order, which is more so based upon the Vatican and that type of system. Then you have the new system, which is more so like the Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos, which is more like, yeah, we want to fuse people with machines and robots in the digital world. That's like the new agenda. But then you have another group of secret societies that don't want that, and they want to kind of keep things the way that they are. So it's different groups that's fighting for power and control, and they'll do anything, bro. They'll use any type of tactics, any type of, diversion, any type of psyops just to get as much power as they can. But yeah, bro, it's different groups that are fighting for supremacy, and it's always been like this. We can go back to World War II, World War I, even before the World Wars. There's always been these different groups that have been fighting for power. We can go back to the Knights Templars, all these different people. We can go back to the Moors. It's always been a war and a battle for supremacy. We can even take this shit back to Egypt and Atlantis. There's always been opposing forces that's trying to dominate and control and influence humanity. So it's not just one group. That's what you got to understand, bro. You say the Illuminati funded Hitler and the Allies at the same time. Exactly. It's always, because you got to understand, bro, who is backing Trump and who is backing Biden? Who backs all of these different presidents and all of these candidates? Who's putting money into their pocket, right? Because let's keep it real, like Biden and Trump are both funded by Israel. They're both funded by these shadowy, dark groups that we really don't 100% know all the details. So like I say, if you believe in Trump, bro, more power to you. Like I say, I fuck with Trump as a character, as a character on the world stage. I really think it's almost like they making a mockery of people by even having Trump and Biden run against each other. But yeah, bro, like I say, Trump does go off script, and that's one thing. And it's a lot of different levels to this shit, because you can look at it as like, okay, this situation was really like a warning shot. Kind of just letting motherfuckers know, like, all right, bro, look, you're doing too much. You need to get back to the plane. You need to get back in line, because they do that a lot too. Like I say, I mean, if you try to go JFK and you start talking about like, oh yeah, I'm gonna shut down the Federal Reserve, like, oh yeah, bro, they're gonna go ahead and get you on up out of here. You know what I'm saying? But Mago, camera quality is insane. Appreciate that, bro. Yeah, I'm using an iPhone too. I'm using an iPhone camera. But downfall of America. But yeah, bro, listen, no nation and no empire lasts forever. It just is what it is. Like, it's not even just about like, Trump and Biden. Like, they are just figureheads. It's just like in business. If you know anything about business, you understand that the CEO of a company, the person that you see up front, is not really the most powerful person. It's really the shareholders that fund and that influence the CEO on what direction to go in. Like, for example, if I start a company, right, and then I do an IPO, I want my company to go public. Guess what? Now I'm gonna have a whole bunch of shareholders that's gonna dump millions of dollars into my company. But guess what? Now they're gonna have input and they're gonna have ownership of my company now. So boom, okay, I put out a company, I start a company, now I got all these shareholders. So now we got a stock price. So the shareholders are going to do everything in their power to make sure that the stock price goes up so they can make a return on their investment. It's the same thing with the president, bro. Same thing with the president. But yeah, bro, like at the end of the day, you should look at all of these incidents as just as symbolism. Like I say, I haven't done like all the gematria and the numerology and the astrology on all of this shit yet. So I'm really just like learning as I go. But yeah, it's definitely crazy. And, I've been telling people that, this election season is going to be a lot of craziness, just like in 2020, because they understand that since people are more conscious now, that they have to up the ante. They have to go to even more extremes just to even keep you interested in this shit. Because if people aren't paying attention, if people aren't interested in it, if people aren't emotionally invested, none of this shit really means anything. Like, y'all do understand that if like everybody, and when I say everybody, like if the masses of the people just simply decided to not go along with shit, that none of their laws, none of that shit would mean anything. But the fact that people believe in this shit, that's what keeps all of this alive. Umed on TikTok said, what is the solution? Well, there is no solution for the masses. There's only a solution for you and your life and the people that you're close to. The masses are done, bro. Listen, like, how can I say this? I'm a pretty positive person, but when it comes to like the masses of the people, like I'm black pilled as fuck when it comes to the masses. Like, I just don't think most people have the mental capacity to fathom you, like, there's just the true depth of wickedness and corruption that's really in this world. Like most people, bro, if they really knew how deep all of this shit went, a lot of people would lose their fucking mind. Like really, bro. And that's why I tell people, like, when you start studying the occult, when you start studying spirituality, when you start, studying the more esoteric subjects in life, you have to be very, very cautious, because if you're not careful, this is a never ending rabbit hole, bro. Like, and there is no limit to knowledge. So once you start studying about all these conspiracies and you see like, okay, boom, like there's a hidden hand that funds both sides of the war, that, a lot of this shit is staged. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all something. Bro. Because a lot of people ask me why I don't talk about Israel and Palestine. I'm going to show y'all why I don't talk about this shit a lot. I really don't like talking about politics in general. Because when you start talking about politics, bro, that shit gets you hot. Yeah, that shit gets you hot. So actually, let me pull this up. I just want to show y'all just how deep this rabbit hole really goes. So let me give me 1 second. So boom, pull that up. Okay, I'm gonna have to zoom in. So what I'm about to show y'all is a letter from Albert Pike. Now, some of y'all may already know about this. I knew they was gonna start fucking with me. You say you couldn't hear me? Okay, so hold on. Let me see what's going on with the sound. Cause some people saying they can't hear me. Some people saying they can hear me. So let me see this. So can you hear me or not? Okay, so you can hear me now. Okay, so you said once I put up the letter, the sound was out. Okay, that's weird. Well, so basically, I'll just break it down then. So you can hear me now on YouTube. That's so crazy because they literally just they took my stream down on TikTok. All right, so basically, to sum it up, let me go back to this. All right, so basically, to sum it up, if you couldn't hear me, basically all of the world wars, World War II, World War I, and World War II were both pre-planned. Matter of fact, I can pull it up on my phone. Yeah. Okay. So boom. So yeah, basically the letter that I showed, and I'll probably put like a link in the bio or some shit. But the letter that I showed, if you could, for those who couldn't hear me, basically it was talking about how there was a plan that was developed by the Freemasons, by secret societies, in order to orchestrate all of the three world wars. So World War I, which was basically it was a plot to remove the czars from Russia. Do your homework on the Bolshevik Revolution, okay, which happened in Russia, which basically brought communism into the mainstream through Russia. So in the letter, it talks about how they planned that, and how they also planned World War II to actually create Palestine. I mean, not Palestine, but to create Israel and to create Zionism and make Zionism go to war with fascism. So that's World War II between Germany and the Soviet Union, the US, and the Allies. So World War III, according to Albert Pike in that document, is supposed to be a war between the Zionists and Islam. So this is what we see in Israel versus Palestine. Now in the letter, it's basically saying that the goal is to make Zionism and Islam mutually destroy each other, and to basically create these global world conflicts in order to engineer people to accept their doctrine of Luciferianism, basically. So the letter is just detailing how all of these world wars was pre-planned hundreds of years in advance. And if you don't understand how these people operate and how they orchestrate these events, then you'll just be thinking that Democrats and Republicans is real. You'll be thinking that all of these different events are just randomly occurring, and it's not all part of a bigger goal and a bigger plan. So that's pretty much what the letter was talking about. Yeah, that's crazy though. And so yeah, but yeah, definitely let me know if you can hear me, because it's definitely a lot of weird shit going on with the stream. Shout out to everybody that joined. But yeah, just type in Albert Pike letter just type in Albert Pike letter 1881 and it should pop up. What's good, Ice Trey Dre? Yeah, we just chopping it up about Trump. Just chopping it up about how everything is pre-planned, how everything is set up years in advance. But yeah, bro, like it's one of those things where you have to understand that people don't really give a fuck about like reaching higher forms of knowledge. Most people are purely existing on a survival level, and outside of that, they really don't have the time or the luxury to think. Like, you got to understand that if you're conscious, if you're awake right now, you're living in luxury. Like, being able to be a free thinker, being able to have access to knowledge, that's a luxury in today's times because a lot of people aren't able to do it. So be very, very aware of how special and how privileged you are at this particular time to even be thinking on this frequency, because most people, bro, will never get to this point. Most people will never seek out information. Most people will never question what's put in front of them. So it's okay, cool. Let's see what the comments talking about. But well, yeah, I can matter of fact, this is what I'll do. So yeah, I just put the letter in the in the chat. So yeah, I just put the link to the letter in the YouTube chat. Oh yeah, of course Albert Pike's statue is still erected, bro. You got to understand, it's like these like secret societies, the way that they move, like the average person will never know who Albert Pike is. And it's like a lot of the people that really have influence and power, you really don't hear about them. That's why I say, like, people like Trump and Biden, like, they have a certain amount of power, but the people that really have power, you'll never really see them. They'll always be like in the shadows, really like orchestrating shit. Because you got to understand that, you know, it's not, like I was saying earlier, it's not just one group that controls everything. It's a variety of different groups, and it's a variety of different families that's all warring with each other. And they use the masses of the people as pawns, as political football, so to speak. So, but yeah, that shit is so crazy, bro. I think my TikTok account is actually deleted. Yeah, they just hit me with the misinformation. But yeah, bro. And then, I mean, this is another thing too. Like, everybody that is a Mason or everybody that is a part of like a so-called secret society, like, everybody isn't evil. And even within Freemasons, there's different orders within Masonry. So it's groups within Masonry that's actually at war with each other. And that's really like a common theme with like all of these groups, is that the lust for power is very, very hard to control. And, you know, naturally people, once they get a taste of power, they don't want to let it go. It's very, very difficult to get some form of power and then just like not want to have it anymore. So yeah, bro. Yeah, pretty much. Like I say, I mean, it's certain topics that I usually don't even speak about, because I know it's like when you start talking about certain things that automatically trigger the algorithm a certain way. So it's like I try to talk about things in a nuanced way to where it's like I don't get my account jammed up, because a lot of niggas don't be smart. So they come out trying to be all radical and against the government and shit. And then boom, once your account get deleted, it's like, what are you really going to do after that? So you got to know how to play the game, bro. Like, see, I'm the type of nigga, I'm a smile in my enemy face. I'm gonna make them think that we cool. I'm gonna make them think that I'm not a threat. The whole time I'm plotting, I'm strategizing, I'm thinking of ways that I can attack you. A lot of people, man, especially these internet niggas get so just filled up with their ego that they get out here and just start talking like a lot of crazy shit. And yeah, that's when like your account get fucked up. So like, you know, everything in warfare, bro, like you have to know that, you know, warfare is mostly mental. It's not always about who's the strongest and who's the most powerful. It's about who got the best strategy and who has the best execution of that strategy. So okay. My TikTok account is up, but I'm basically just banned from going live for like 7 days. So yeah, it's just some weird shit. But yeah, bro. Let me see what hey man, I'm not trying to end up like Alex Jones, bro. But yeah, I mean, bro, eventually, bro, I mean, the thing about it too is that, and this is why it's really crazy, is because a lot of like the secret societies, they actually like when people come out and talk about this shit. And sometimes they'll even help to push you. They'll even help get you more clout because they look at all of this shit like a game. So you got to think like, even with like a lot of the conspiracy theories, even that is an aspect of social engineering too, because on a certain level, they want to radicalize you. They want you to know about this shit so that you can be on some January 6th shit and try to go out here and go to war with the government with guns and get your ass clapped up or catch a case. That's how they set up the Black Panthers. You know, how they got the Black Panthers was they sent the agents in to infiltrate. Then they got the agents to tell the Black Panthers like, look, we got these MPGs and rocket launchers and we should, you know, launch an attack on the Capitol. We should launch an attack on this government building. And now, boom, they got you set up with the federal charge. So a lot of times they'll actually put gasoline on the so-called revolutionaries, on the people that talk about this shit so that you can have a bigger stage, so that you can get more publicity and more energy, just so they can have more evidence to jam you up. It's just like how the feds move, bro. If they know that you trapping, you moving bricks, they'll let you sell that shit for a few years just so they can build a case. So, you know, it's levels to, you know, just the way that this system really operates, bro. It's like, it's not really as cut and dry as you think. You know, we talking about, you know, like people that have high IQs, people that are sociopaths, psychopaths, you know, narcissists, extreme dark triad traits. And, you know, they'll use pretty much any type of method. Like I even ask people like, why do you think all of these conspiracy theories is even on the internet now? You know, a lot of that is them putting that out there because that's how they can create a Manchurian candidate. That's how they can create, you know, a sleeper cell. Because like if you understand the internet, if you understand how Reddit works, if you understand 4chan, if you understand Discord, you know, a lot of these young kids that aren't mentally developed, they feed them these conspiracy theories and then they get them to carry out events like these shootings and to carry out these events because it's mind control. You know, they want you to be mad. They want you to be so upset that you go out here and try to shoot up the White House and shit. Is Freemasonry good to join? Well, it depends on you. It depends on what you're trying to do. Like I got friends that's Freemasons. You know, I got people that's Masons, bro. Like I say, it's different levels to Mason. You got the Prince Hall Masons, you got the Scottish Rite. It's different levels to it. But like I say, I mean, a lot of people join a secret society just for their own protection or for their own personal benefit. So like I say, it's nothing wrong with being like the spook that sat by the door. So it's like I got a lot of homies that joined the Marines, that went to the military, but they only did that for their own personal gain. So it's like, okay, boom, they got all access to all these guns. They did their years and then they got the fuck out. They got the check. But it's like they're not like just die hard, you know, devoted to the military and the government. You know, they just did that shit for their own personal, you know, their own personal reasons. So it's up to you, bro. Like, a secret society in and of itself isn't really good or bad. It's just like what you do, because you always have the choice of, like, you know, an individual, you know, life path. So, you know, I don't judge people based on like their beliefs and their spiritual practices. Like, you know, whatever works for you works for you. You said, who controls the dark web? Well, who controls the regular web? I mean, at the end of the day, you're on the internet based upon these major corporations setting up data centers, and that's allowing you to connect to these websites. So at a certain point, I mean, once you get to a certain level of business, you pretty much have to work with the government on some level, like whether it's through just like how you like got your taxes set up. And like even me, like, bro, like when I was younger, bro, like, I've been a part of like federal raids, bro. Like, I've been to jail before, bro. Like, I know what it's like to be caught up in some bullshit. So, you know, it's levels to all of this, bro. It's like it just depends on, you know, if you're a threat to them on a physical level or if you're a threat to them on a spiritual level. But at the end of the day, it's all about how you move, bro. It's all about how you move, because even in the worst case scenario, even if like, you know, you did get like physically taken out, I mean, you really won the game, bro. Like, it's you know, death is nothing to be afraid of, bro. You said, I'm trying to sleep, and can spirits possess you when you sleep? Like, can anything get into your body? Well, that depends on your energy level. It depends on the type of foods you put into your body. It depends on the type of thoughts that you're repetitively thinking. It depends on the daily practices that you do. You know, being possessed is a very misunderstood concept, because a lot of people think that it's just a spirit floating around in the sky that just takes over your body. Like, no, being possessed means that there's a certain repetitive form of thinking that you have that is now controlling you on a psychic level. So, for example, if you have a traumatic event that happens to you, right? And that traumatic event, like, let's say you get assaulted by somebody, or like somebody physically harms you, right? Now, after that traumatic event happens, let's say that every day you just live in fear from that point on. Constantly living in fear is the same as being possessed by a demonic entity, quote unquote, because you're allowing an emotional energy, or you're allowing certain thoughts to take over your mind. And that's what really demonic possession is. Demonic possession is when an energy, an emotional state, or a form of thinking takes over your free will and your judgment. That's what being possessed is. And it's a lot of ways to get possessed. You know, like, being possessed is really like, it's levels to it. Because some people get possessed by doing certain rituals that they're not ready for. So let's say, for example, you're trying to get money and you start doing money rituals and you start getting the money. Well, you can get addicted to the money, and you can get addicted to the power that comes from getting money, to the point where now you don't give a fuck about nothing else except for money. So this means that now you're willing to steal from people, you're willing to rob people, you're willing to harm people, you're willing to do anything and everything, because you've been possessed by that particular spirit, by that particular desire. So, you know, being possessed, it has a lot of levels, bro. Like, just not being in control of your daily life can be possession. A lot of people wonder why they can't focus, why they can't become more disciplined, and why they can't, you know, overcome certain aspects and certain challenges in life. It's because they're possessed by their own limited thinking. So it's levels to it when we talk about possession. Why do celebrities do rituals for Satan? Is Satan a deity they worship? Well, first of all, when you talk about Satan, like Satan can mean a lot of different things, bro. Like, because on one level, when we talk about like quote unquote the devil is really just your subconscious mind, bro. Like any spirit that you like do a ritual for, like anybody can draw a sigil or light some candles, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna get the effects from the ritual. You only get effects from a ritual when you penetrate your subconscious mind and you shift the way that you think and you shift your vibration. Like you have to stop looking at these spirits as something that's external. And really a lot of these spirits, when we talk about the occult, it's talking about different aspects of the mind and different aspects, different regions of your brain that can become unlocked. This is why, like, when they study psychopaths and serial killers have certain parts of their brain that's overly active and certain other parts of their brain that's underactive. So when we talk about the occult, it's a concept called the 72 goetic demons or the Goetia. And this is really talking about 72 regions of the brain that you can unlock. And when you unlock these portions of your brain, you will have supernatural abilities. And what a lot of times what happens is once you do unlock these forces, these dormant psychological forces within your brain, a lot of times it will put you to a space where you're no longer just a regular human. So now you no longer have the same morality as a regular human because you've gone beyond that particular form of thinking, right? So this is what true like demonic possession is. It's really about awakening higher, not even higher, but awakening the dormant forces within your brain and your mind. And a lot of people aren't strong enough to control those forces. That's why it's certain occult books that I've read, bro. Like, for example, it's one called the Necronomicon. In the beginning of that book, they warn you, bro. They say, listen, if you work with the deities in this book, you may expose yourself to psychological forces that you cannot cope with, right? So, yeah, bro, we're talking about psychological forces within your own mind that when they're fully unleashed, you may do things that is not necessarily of your character. Now, if we want to go on a deeper level, you know, who are you? Like the person that you call yourself, how did you come to the conclusion that you were you? Like, because a lot of people who they think they think that they're a name. They think that they're a birth date. They think that they're a race or an ethnicity. And they don't understand that this is the mask that they wear. Who are you really on a deeper inner level? A lot of people don't know. And this is why I say that, you know, really, a lot of people try to pretend that they're this angelic, super moral, super righteous being. But everybody has a dark side, bro. Everybody has, you know, a dark nature to them that they suppress just for the sake of society. Because like me, bro, like I have violent thoughts sometimes, but I don't act on them because I have self-control. Like you ever been talking to somebody, bro, and they just saying some dumb shit and you like, man, bro, I really wish this nigga would shut the fuck up. But if you told them to shut the fuck up, that's not socially acceptable. But that's your subconscious. That's your dark nature that is really just unhinged and it's not bound by the social rules that we all agree to. So this is what we're talking about when we're talking about demons, bro. We're talking about unleashing that unhinged part of yourself that most people will never tap into. And this is why people do rituals. You do rituals to unlock the forces that's locked within your own subconscious. And when you do that, bro, it's always a risk. It's always a chance that, you know, you may not be able to cope with that energy, with those psychological forces. What does my shirt say? My shirt says hell was boring. That's what the shirt say, bro. But yeah, man, shout out, man, to everybody watching, bro. Shout out to YouTube. Then we got like 34 people watching. Shout out to Instagram. Got about 113 watching. Shout out to everybody. But yeah, man, it's definitely crazy. Like I say, be on the lookout for more crazy events to happen over the course of the election. Because you got to understand, bro, there's so much levels to this shit. Like, a lot of people are paid to be Democrats and Republicans just to steer the discourse, just to steer the public narrative. So just be on the lookout. Don't get too emotionally invested into none of this shit, because at the end of the day, bro, most of this shit is really above your pay grade. Like I tell people, bro, if you're not rich as fuck, you really shouldn't care about politics that much, because for the most part, you know, none of these motherfuckers is gonna save you. Like, if you want to get involved in politics, do so at the local level, because your local mayor, your local governor, like, you know, the people that's actually in your city, you can touch those people, you know. So if you want to get certain things changed, you do it on the local level. But once you get to like the federal government, the Supreme Court, bro, all of that shit, come on, bro, like all of that is just bought and paid for. But what do you think about programming your brain while you sleep? Yeah, it's definitely ways. Like, one thing that I used to do is that I would record like a voice memo on my phone, just with like different affirmations. So it'd be like, yo, I want to make $10,000 a month. Or, okay, I want to be healthy. I want to attract more positive situations in my life. And I would just say these affirmations and record a voice memo, and then just put it on loop on my phone, and then just fall asleep listening to that. That's one way that you can program your subconscious while you sleep. Trump crypto went up by 6,000%. Yeah, bro, I was definitely looking at the crypto market. That's really the only thing that I really fuck with about Trump, is that if Trump does win, it will make the crypto market go crazy. So outside of that, like, I have no emotions. Like, nigga, I'll never motherfucking vote for nobody. But yeah, Trump is more bullish for crypto. So yeah, like a lot of those meme coins, a lot of those Trump meme coins, like, yeah, bro, a lot of them motherfuckers probably finna go up like 1,000%. So yeah, if you can get in on some, like I say, it's always risk involved. But yeah, bro, it's definitely gonna be a lot of money made behind this and throughout this election. So yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to everybody watching. Let me see what's going on my YouTube. Some weird shit happening on my YouTube. Let's see real quick. But do you think after death we have a chance? What do you mean by that? I'm not sure I understand what you mean. Oh yeah, Trilla Broski, man, appreciate you for watching, bro. Definitely, yeah, hit me up in the DM. Quay, yeah, just rewatch the stream. I already talked about Trump in the beginning of the live stream. So yeah, I'm gonna post it. It'll be up on my Instagram. It'll be up on YouTube. So yeah, just rewatch the video, because I really don't feel like talking about Trump again. But pretty much, to make a long story short, it was a psyop, bro. I'm not gonna say that like it wasn't real, quote unquote, as far as like it wasn't an actual shooter and it wasn't actual people that got shot, because I think 2 people died. Allegedly, the shooter died and 1 person in the audience allegedly died. So, you know, but the bigger picture is that this is a psyop to spark civil unrest, and really the big goal is to create a civil war. Like, that's the end game of, you know, the elites, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. That's the end goal, is to incite public unrest, civil unrest, and to eventually manufacture and socially engineer a civil war type of situation, because we're already in World War III. Like I broke down with Israel and Palestine, like I broke down with the World War III with the Albert Pike letters. You know, they thrive off of war and bloodshed. So they want people to be in the streets fighting each other, and they used this event as as a way to usher that in and to push that agenda. So yeah, you're going to see a retaliation. I wouldn't be surprised if Biden gets shot, or if Biden gets shot at or some shit like that happens, because now they can set it up like, okay, the MAGA crowd retaliates, and now they can just, keep pushing the agenda further and further and further. And like I say, if you watching my content, bro, you pretty much good. This really mostly affects the masses of the people that actually are emotionally invested into this shit. Like, bro, I don't give a fuck who wins the presidency, bro. Yeah, bro. But yeah, like I say, I mean, my prediction, like if I was the Illuminati, I would just put Trump back in, because honestly, I think Trump is a more divisive figure. So if the goal is to create as much chaos as possible, you really want Trump to be the president, because Trump is a better fall guy than Biden is. Like I say, I don't know if like Biden will even make it to the election. Like a lot of conspiracy theorists will say that Gavin Newsom out of California is going to replace Biden as the Democratic nominee. Like I say, I don't really get too deep into all the politics of it. I just look at the bigger agenda that's being played and how they use politics as a tool to control people. Because at the end of the day, politics is a tool. And if you don't control that apparatus, if you don't control like the pieces on the political chessboard, what the fuck are you really talking about, bro? Like, you really think your vote matters, bro? Like, you really think who you vote for matters on a large scale? Like I say, it matters in the aspect of that a lot of people put their emotions into this, so people's consciousness is affected by this. But somebody like me, like, come on, bro. Like, I'm not losing no sleep over this shit. Like I say, shit, I know how to survive, bro. Like, if shit hit the fan, bro, I know how to identify edible plants in the wild, bro. Like, nigga, I was homeless for years, bro. I know how to live in a tent. I know how to find water. I know how to survive. So in the worst case scenario, shit, I'm gonna be good anyway. And that's why I say, like, the best thing you can do is to become more self-sustaining, learn how to grow food, find a couple people that you can trust, that you care about, that you fuck with, that you can align with if things do get crazy. But at the end of the day, man, I'm not one of these niggas, bro, that like try to push like doomsday narratives. At the end of the day, if you're emotionally invested into this, you will be affected by it. If you're not emotionally invested into it, it won't really affect you that much. Now, at the end of the day, I'll probably do another stream talking about Project 2025 and all of like the political agendas that's being pushed on a political legislative level. But I mainly deal with the occult and the esoteric. So when you fuck with me, bro, you're not gonna really get no surface level political talk. You're gonna get the occult information based upon my understanding and my research. So thoughts on the Moors. Yeah, I fuck with the Moors, most definitely. I do think that a lot of people like try to like revise history. And a lot of Moors do this too. Like, I'll say this, I fuck with the Moors, but I also feel like certain Moors did sell out. And a lot of Moors did actually work with the Europeans. A lot of Moors did work with different groups. And at the end of the day, bro, a lot of people don't like me talking about this, bro. But, like I said, I'm not one of these black power niggas, bro. I'm not Dr. Umar. I'm not Tariq Nasheed. I'm not none of these niggas, bro. I'm my own person. So, Africans, bro, sold their own people into slavery, bro. Like, a lot of people don't like to hear that. But if you really just look at this shit logically, do you know how hard it is for an outsider to infiltrate and invade another country, bro, and take over that country? Like, bro, it's extremely difficult to do, bro. Like, people don't want to accept the fact that the Moors and the Africans was working with the Europeans at first. And we can say that the Europeans double crossed niggas. we can run with that narrative, but at the end of the day, bro, there has never just been a unified African collective where everybody was just 100% cool with each other, bro. It was tribal supremacy. So certain tribes went to war with other tribes and enslaved their own people, and really Africans sold their own people to the Arabs and to the Europeans, and a lot of people don't want to accept that. And I'm not just getting this just out my ass, bro. Like, I'm getting this from actually talking to old niggas that's from Africa, that live in Africa, that can tell me like, oh yeah, like, nah, like, we've always had a certain amount of sellouts in our community, bro. Like, you know, just as far as like Africans or black people or Moors. So yeah, bro, like a lot of the Moors did set up a lot of infrastructure. A lot of the Moors did have an instrumental hand in building America and facilitating trade, and, you know, by bringing advancements in mathematics and science, astrology, all of that shit the Moors did. But a certain amount of them did sell out and did work with the enemy at the same time. But yeah, bro, slavery is another psyop, bro. I don't know if I'm gonna do a video on that. I might do a video on that one day. But yeah, slavery is definitely a major psyop. Because at the end of the day, we're all like going off of like limited information, but they use slavery as a psyop for one thing, to keep black people stuck in a slave mentality. Because if you constantly feel like you're oppressed and you're enslaved and somebody is out to get you, you will never manifest into your true God self. Because in the back of your mind, you always feel like there's something that's stopping you. And a lot of black people, bro, like, they don't want to step outside of the victim mentality. See, what you got to understand is that there's a difference between being a victim and having a victim mentality. Like, if something happens to you, bro, that's fucked up, you're a victim of that situation. But once you internalize that and you see yourself as a victim perpetually throughout time in every situation, that's when it's a problem. And a lot of black people do have a victim mentality based upon the psyop and based upon the subliminal programming from seeing, you know, the civil rights movement, by seeing the George Floyd, by seeing, you know, all of these, you know, acts of violence and all of these, you know, all of these things, these terrible things that happens. It does affect your mind in a way. So if you're not strong enough to understand it, like, look, bro, you know, I understand the plight of black people and Africans, but I'm deciding to transcend that and create a new consciousness, because this is really what we need more than anything, bro. We can talk about the past all day, bro. We can talk about Africa. We can talk about the white man. We can talk about ancient Egypt and the pyramid. But what the fuck are niggas doing right now? Like, what type of consciousness are we creating to create a better future? Because that's really the biggest thing that we need, is that we have to create a new consciousness space for us to exist in that isn't based upon past trauma, that isn't based upon all of the terrible negative things, but that is based upon, you know, a higher order of being and a higher order of thinking. And until people can get to that point, it'll be very difficult to progress in any meaningful way. So I'm not saying that you should just forget about the past. I'm not saying that, you know, the European and the white man didn't do a bunch of fucked up shit. But what I'm saying is, like, you have to be able to not let that distract you from your ascension and let it distract you from becoming your higher self. So so let's see. Were the original Native Americans black? Come on, bro. You already know the answer to that question. What you have to understand is that it's a difference between recorded history and actual history. So we'll never really know true 100% accurate history. We're always going to have like fragments that we have to put together. But I mean, if you just look at just the makeup of just people, like, if you understand that at one point all of the continents were together, and if you understand that, you know, it's pretty much scientifically proven that the oldest people on the planet are black people or African people. So you think that we were only on Africa and we didn't travel to different continents? Like, come on, bro. You know, so, you know, at that point, it's really just about, you know, what period of time you're talking about. What period of time you're talking about? Because, I mean, black really wasn't even a term until like the 1800s, bro. Like, nobody was black before the 1800s. Like, that's really some new shit. So, and I mean, you know, if you want to talk about the Moors, a lot of Moors actually consider themselves to be white, because in the legal definition, black and white doesn't mean skin color. It represents legal status. So anytime, like, I give y'all a little hack, bro, this is just some free game. Nigga, anytime I fill out an application for some credit, or I fill out an application dealing with some type of money, nigga, I put white on my fucking application, bro. What the fuck? Because I understand the legal definition. You know, Black's Law Dictionary, bro. Like, you got to understand it's a difference between regular English language and then legal language. Like, legal language is a whole different language, bro. You know, I actually used to date an attorney that actually worked with Atlanta, with Fulton County. And, you know, she really showed me how corrupt all this shit is, bro. Like, man, all of these motherfucking, you know, attorneys and judges, all of them took an oath, bro. They all, you know, a part of this shit. And like I say, politics is organized crime. So, and that's why it's like, even with a lot of these cases that you see with like a lot of these rappers, like a good example is the Young Thug case. And I told people this when the case first started, that they really can't convict Young Thug without also convicting the chief of police. Matter of fact, do your homework on how the chief of police actually resigned right after that RICO case came up. Because a lot of people don't understand that a lot of like these high level sheriffs and police officers, they work with the criminals, bro. Like, there is no like, you know, oh, like the police are like, no, bro, the police work with the criminals, bro. The FBI, all these agencies, they work with the criminals. They facilitate crime. They facilitate and benefit off the crime. The goal is never to stop crime. So all of this shit ties into each other, bro. And when you really kind of like look at how everything is connected, the best thing for you to do is to really take a step back and just look at all of this shit and see, okay, how can I benefit from all of this shit? How can I benefit from other people's stupidity? Because that's really all politics is, bro. Politics is just grifting and monetizing our people's stupidity. That's how I look at it. But yeah, man. Oh, yeah, appreciate that, Mo. You remind me of Brother Yusuf. I know about him. I seen like a couple of videos. I mean, I guess that's a compliment. But yeah, man. See, I've been on this motherfucker like almost 2 hours. So yeah, I'll probably take a couple questions and then yeah, and then I'm gonna sign off, man. See, I'll take a couple questions. Oh yeah, before I get into that, August 3rd to August 5th, I will be in Miami at the Forbidden Conference with Billy Carson. I will be speaking live. So if you in Miami, if you in Florida, definitely tap in. I will be speaking live. I'm gonna be out there. You know, you can come up, you can meet me, we can chop it up, you know, we can make some moves. It's gonna be a yacht party, so we're gonna be on the yacht, you know, kicking shit. It's gonna be a lot of like, you know, prominent individuals there. So if you in Florida, if you in Miami, definitely tap in. Milady said, is wearing crystals comparable to yoga or meditation? Yeah, it can be. Yeah, crystals definitely hold energy. Crystals can definitely you know, help facilitate the way that energy flows through the body. So yeah, you know, yeah, crystals can definitely help. You know, you just got to make sure you're getting real ones and you're getting them from the right people, because it's a lot of fake ass crystals, a lot of people selling fake shit. What do you think causes humans to war against each other? Why are some tribes peaceful and some not? What's the spiritual root? Well, it's a lot of factors that go into that. At the end of the day, you have to understand that when you manifest into this human body, that you're going to have temptation, you're going to have desires, and you're going to have disagreements with people. Like, I just think that over time that people just have disagreements. Like, people have a certain type of plan that they want the tribe to go in, and somebody else disagrees with that plan. And at a certain point, bro, especially with men, unfortunately, when disagreements get to a certain level, a lot of times there's always a threat. There's always like an underlying threat of physical violence. So I just feel like for whatever reason, people just didn't see eye to eye on certain things, and it just one thing led to another, and the next thing you know, it became physical and became violent. Now, if you want to talk about the spiritual level, if you want to go more, like occult, it's just duality. Like, some people are meant to be the villain. And this is why, like, a lot of people don't like my content, because, I've told people from the beginning, bro, like, I'm not a light worker. I'm not one of these love and light and peace and love type niggas. I am peaceful, but nigga, I'm always down to go to war, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't never been a bitch ass nigga. I never been scared to fight. I never been scared to, go to war. And, at the end of the day, I just feel like that duality manifests itself through us. And, some people just have darker natures than other. Some people, just have a force within them that just drives them to want to just dominate and rule over others. It's an energy. It's a certain type of psychology. And a lot of times it happens because of your life situations. So like a good example of it is Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan was probably one of the most powerful military leaders, just in terms of like power. This dude was responsible for millions of bodies. But why did he become a ruthless dictator? It's because he was abandoned when he was 7 years old. He got abandoned by his own family. His own tribe just left him for dead. So this caused him to just want to just have animosity towards anybody that he met. So him being abandoned by his family at such a young age, it basically put him in like, hey, bro, fuck the world. I'm gonna make everybody pay for the trauma that I experienced. And a lot of people have that same type of mentality. A lot of people, it's like street niggas, like a lot of hood niggas that have like fucked up mentalities. A lot of times them niggas didn't have a father in the home. They probably got abused when they was a young kid or neglected. Neglect, abuse, these things can cause you to become a monster because it prevents you from developing on a neurological level. So it prevents you from developing mentally in a healthy way, because you had so much trauma when you was young that you identify with that trauma. And now you kind of have this chip on your shoulder. You kind of have like an attitude like, man, fuck everybody, bro. And that's why a lot of people kind of fall into those type of mentalities. But do you think being villain too much or being around villains can get you on bad energy side? Where do you know to go to war and when to peace? Well, you should, in my mind, I feel like you should always want peace. But if somebody is infringing upon your free will, if somebody is attempting to attack you or harm you, I feel like you should destroy their ass. Now at the same time, you got to be smart about how you do it, because we do live in a world with systems and laws and different things like that. But I feel like until somebody does something to you, bro, you should just be cool and just not go around looking for a fight. So it's just different personality types, bro. You got to understand that sometimes there are certain people that do incarnate with a lot of dark energy or a lot of past life trauma. So imagine that in your past life that you got assassinated by a certain group of people, and you reincarnate in this life and you still kind of have a connection to that past life. This can cause you to just have a lot more dark energy than other people. And, you know, another thing about it too is that, you know, it's just the way that energy incarnates on Earth. So the same way that you wouldn't call a hurricane evil, the same way you wouldn't call a tornado or an earthquake or a flood evil, it's the same way with people, bro. Some people are just, you know, that they embody certain energy. It's just like, you know, even in ancient Egypt, like all the different deities, whether you're talking about Heru, whether you're talking about Set, whether you're talking about, you know, just all these different entities, they all represent a principle of the universe. They all represent a force of nature. That's why in every mythology, you have a goddess of love. You have a god of war. You have all of these guys that represent these certain things because it's talking about personality types. It's talking about energies that people embody. So certain people are just naturally born more aggressive than other people. And certain people are meant to do certain things. And like I say, at the end of the day, even if, you know, somebody incarnates to the planet that is evil and they become a ruthless dictator and they kill a bunch of people, those people that they killed, right? Because you got to understand there's really no such thing as death. So like I say, like, did those people get killed or did they get freed from the physical dimension? It's really just all about how you look at this shit, bro. That's why I say, like, once you get to higher levels of like Freemasonry or higher levels of secret society, they don't believe in good and evil, bro. Like, they don't give a fuck, especially if you like just a common person, bro. The elites look at people as useless eaters. They look at people like they're dumb, like they're weak. And in their mind, they don't think what they're doing is evil. They think that they're ridding the world of useless eaters and parasites that really don't contribute anything to the earth. So that's their mentality. But this is the thing. The universe doesn't operate based on morality. The universe operates based upon pure energy, right? Pure energy. So if the group of people that want to control and dominate the world have more psychic energy and they're willing to do anything to manifest their goals and plans, they're going to beat the people that think that they're righteous, but that's not doing the same amount of spiritual work. So these people, bro, they're willing to sacrifice kids. They're willing to do anything because they understand that all that energy has to go somewhere, right? So they do these sacrifices, they do these rituals to send the energy up, right? And based upon everybody being emotional, based upon all the energy that's being harvested through rituals, they can use that energy for their own purpose. But the thing is, it's like when you're in a war, bro, the side that has the most morals doesn't win the war. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And this is why a lot of bad things happen to good people. Because I'm going to keep it real, bro. It's a lot of people that's good, that got good hearts, but they're dumb. They're naive. They're gullible. And they're easily taken advantage of because they got such a good heart that they see the good in people instead of seeing, you know, the bad in people, because everybody doesn't have good intentions, bro. But if you have good intentions, you might try to project that onto other people that's really trying to just manipulate you, right? And that's really like the real reason that I got shot, bro. Like, I got shot by niggas that I considered my friends because I was so good hearted within my own self that I didn't want to believe that niggas was actually trying to plot on me and set me up. So me being naive based upon the fact that I'm thinking that we friends, I'm thinking I'm cool with these niggas, but really in the back of their mind, they like, man, bro, this nigga getting more money than us, even though I'm trying to show these niggas how to get the bread. But once again, a lot of niggas don't want to put in work. They want handouts. So the whole time that I'm trying to help niggas, in their mind, they looking at it like I'm really trying to stun on them. They looking at it like I'm trying to like sun them. And so their mentality is totally different from mine. So just because you're a good person doesn't mean that you don't gotta motherfucking put a cap in the nigga ass, bro. Like, sometimes, bro, you have to embrace your dark side, even if you are a good-hearted person, because in this world, you're not gonna escape duality, bro. You know, I don't know anybody in the world that has lived a life with zero trauma or zero issues with other people. I just don't know of it. It may exist. It may be some people that lived a perfect life with no challenges, no turmoil, no problems, no type of, contrast. But I don't know anybody like that. So you have to be able to shift energies. See, a lot of people think that how they are is just how they are. But really, how they are is just based upon programming and based upon their life. It's like if you was born in Ukraine right now, and if you was born in Palestine and you was actually having to fight in a war as a little kid, you're going to have a different type of mentality and energy than somebody that grew up in the rich suburbs in America. So, it's just, it's so many different factors that go into a lot of this shit. Oh yeah, I love you too. Robots Void. But yeah, man. Yeah, bro. Miami, August 3rd to August 5th. Yeah, I'm gonna be out there with Billy Carson. It's a lot of other people out there. I know. I think Ralph Smart is there. I got to look at the list of who all is coming. He says, so how do we win against the people who harvest our energy and use it against us? You win against them by cultivating your own energy. Like I say, bro, there is no plan. There is no one size fits all plan for everybody. At this point in the game, it's a personal and it's an individual thing. Once individuals within themselves can elevate their own consciousness, then we can start talking about a group. But the reason that, people always say, oh yeah, we need to unify. We need to come together. And it's like, bro, come together and do what? Because most people are not ready to really expand beyond their own limited consciousness. Most people are not ready to really, be self-sufficient. Most people aren't ready to really do anything beyond just, a 9-to-5 and just, their normal basic life, so you can't really look at it as a we thing. You have to look at it as you, because this is the thing, if you tap into your own higher self, bro, people naturally will gravitate to you and people will naturally follow you. And that's really the only way to cause real change, is that you have to start, on a local level of where you're at. A lot of times we want everybody to just spiritually ascend and get to a certain level at the same time. It don't work like that, bro. You have to make this decision for yourself. Nobody can awaken you. People can give you knowledge. People can inspire you. People can put you on a path of awakening, but you got to walk through them doors yourself, bro. So yeah, bro, you win by cultivating your own energy, and you win by doing your own rituals. You win by not being emotionally attached or invested into a lot of things in the media. Like I say, it's good to be informed and to talk about it and to understand it, but you shouldn't let these things affect you to the point where you're losing sleep over this shit. Your life is your responsibility. And you got to treat every day as if it's your last, and you got to treat every day like it's your birthday, bro. You beat them by cultivating inner joy and by cultivating happiness within yourself, because that's the thing that they really don't want to see. They don't really want to see you vibrating high. They want you to be scared. They want you to be worried. They want you to be in fear. They want you to be constantly feeling like you're not good enough. They want you to constantly look outside yourself for a salvation. Once they can get you to do that, bro, they pretty much got you. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Oh, shout out to Judy. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Shout out to Judy on YouTube for becoming a member. Shout out to you. Big shout out for the donation. Appreciate that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. So yeah, appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Like I said, I'm gonna keep the live up, so the live will be on my Instagram and my YouTube. So check out the replay. But yeah, man, until next time, bro, y'all stay up. I love y'all. You know, keep being, you know, in alignment, stay focused, you know, don't let none of this shit get you down, you know, stay on your path, stay on your purpose, and, you know, never let them see you sweat, man. You know, be a god, be a goddess always. So till next time, man, peace.